right? Tetzave or
Yeah.
Pekuta? Yeah, okay. So we're going to be discussing the Bigdei Kehuna. She's going to be, actually. And what is their significance with Aaron Kohen, who was the first Kohen. So thank you so much for joining Frimet. You can turn on your camera, and if everybody could turn on their cameras so that we can see each other and unite. I see a new name here. Oh, she just went off. Guess not. Oh, Elkie, you are new. Elkie, where are you from?
You're muted, Elkie.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
Beitar.
Oh, where?
Did we meet before?
I've been on a Zoom before. Yeah.
Elkie, where are you in Beitar Elite? Because I'm in Giva Aleph.
So am I. On
Where?
Makabla Beach.
Oh, you're not that far from me. I'm in Chalkat Yoav.
Oh, okay.
Okay, small world. Okay.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Did I meet you in person though? You look familiar.
I don't know if I've ever met in person.
Are you part of Kumi Uri?
Come here. No.
Okay. Well, you look like somebody from there. And Adina, welcome. Where are you from, Adina? You can mute or you want to write in the chat. Which Adina is this? And we have Chaya Malka, who's from Yerushalayim. We're near Kever David. Okay. Goldie's not on today. Let's see if Goldie's going to come on. Okay, go ahead, Frimet. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Pamela, for the Tehillim. And Bezrat Hashem, and the inspiration we hear today via Zchut for all our Chayalim and Chatufim. They should be brought home safely. Yesterday, I was zocheh to meet some of the families, the mother, the grandmother of the Chatufim. They spoke. We gathered together, some from women, together with those who are from the families, and it was mamash heartwarming, and at the same time, a little sad. And we davened that Bezrat Hashem, we continue this achdut. They asked for it. They wanted us to gather, and they were so honored that we all came. The room was jam-packed. It was an auditorium in Tel Aviv, and it was very emotional. It was an evening of tefillah, of song, of hope and yearning, and it was mamash beautiful. I'll tell you guys about it another time because we just are short on time today. So I want Frimet to have time to share her amazing divrei Torah with us. Thank you so much, Frimet.
Okay, so we asked a question in the title. Are the Bigdei Kehuna on these three things only in general are the Bigdei Kehuna, but especially the ephod, which was the apron, the choshen, which was the breastplate, and the me'il, which was the tunic, are they only for Aaron the Kohen? And the question was, we know that they had to be dressed in special clothes for the special service in the Mishkan. But that's for Aaron. But is there any more significance to these begodim for the rest of Klal Yisrael? And according to the Rebbeinu Bechaya, yes, there is. So the clothes that when Aaron the Kohen put on the clothes and when he did his service, it wasn't just he did a service, the actual clothes themselves brought a certain type of forgiveness for different things. So one of the things we learned from here, there's a concept called chitzonius hamitzvah and something called pnimius hamitzvah according to Chassidus. In the chitzonius hamitzvah, the outer vestment of a mitzvah is the actual mechanics of a mitzvah, whether the halach is, how do we do it, etc. Pnimius mitzvah is the intent behind, the kavanah behind, the heart behind. What are the special kavanas we're supposed to have? And the same thing here. And davening, of course, is the afterrunner of the Mishkan and the Beis Mikdash. because in Neshama Parim Tzavasenu, right? That without the Beis Hamikdash, we substituted with davening, all right? And basically that pasuk means Neshama, and we will fill Sifasenu, Neshama Sifasenu, our lips, Parim with bowls, meaning the substitute of the karbonis is the davening. But with everything that the Kadosh Baruch was made in Yiddishkeit, there is always a chitzonis, the form, the how-to, but the pnimius is what we want to get to. And the same thing here, that Aaron HaKohen was commanded by Kadosh Baruch Hu to wear these special clothes, but brings with it a pnimius to this mitzvah. So let's understand a little bit of what that pnimius is. So the Chayshen, according to Rabbeinu B'chaye, was brought to be mechaper, to forgive al kilkul dinan. What's kilkul dinan? That if chas v'sholem, that a beis din made a wrong judgment, that there was automatic, every day that when Aaron HaKohen put these clothes on, there would be automatic kapara for it. The next thing, and the pasuk that proves that is, it says in Perek Chavches, chapter 28, pasuk Tesvav, verse 15 in our parsha this week, Parshas Tetzaveh, v'asisa choyshen mishpat, and you should make the breastplate of judgment. So that is where Rabbeinu B'chaye bases that that this choyshen was really to be mechaper for any type of judgment that was not correct. The next thing is the ephod, is the apron. And the apron is mechaper al avodah zorah. It is mechaper on foreign worship. And the pasuk that the Rabbeinu B'chaye brings down, he brings it down from Hosea in Perek Gimel pasuk Daled, chapter 3, verse 4. Ve'ein ephod u'trafim. There was no ephod, there was no apron. U'trafim, terafim were a type of avodah zarah, type of foreign worship. When was the first time we got the word terafim in the Torah? Was by Rachel. When Rachel had stolen her father's terafim, her father's idols, and if you remember, she had hid them in her saddle, and she sat on them, right? So when Lavan came and was upset with Yaakov that these idols were taken, he went investigating in every part of the different tents of everybody, but he didn't think that Rachel was sitting on them. So that's where we got, that's where we first encountered terafim. The next thing is the me'il, the tunic. It's mechaper on lashon hara. It forgives on true, not just true evil. Lashon hara in this case is a broad spectrum of anything to do with shmir halashon, anything to do with how we have to guard our speech. But interestingly enough, the Rabbeinu B'chaye HaMavoya, which is a commentary on Rabbeinu B'chaye, explains that that this only applies to lashon hara, doesn't cause strife. If the lashon hara did cause strife, then the person gets saras, the spiritual disease in which was given during the times of the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash as a punishment for speaking lashon hara. Or
Is it okay if I share a picture?
Oh yes.
Got them? Okay. You could tell them what's what.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. Okay, so here I was actually going to get to that because I brought this up for special place for it, but thank you that you put it on the screen. Okay, so we have here, the first thing that strikes us is the choshen. It's the breastplate. This is the apron over here, and the blue in the back is the tunic. I think I have 1 second. There's a bit. That's right. I was going to. Okay. So, this is the apron over here. There are different sheetas about how the apron actually look. But right over here, this is the apron. This is the tunic.
The colorful one.
The colorful one is the apron, the ephod. The bottom, the blue, is the me'il. And this with the stones that had the name of every single. Hold on, wait on the palmoinim, Karen. Let me just finish the question, okay? Karen? Yeah, okay. So over here, you had the different precious stones that were, and each one had the name of a different shevet on it, of a different tribe. Okay. Now, what made this so special was that behind the breastplate, behind the choshen, was the Shem HaMeforish, was the special name of Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Now, if we can just pick up for a little bit, if we can show the palmoinim. Can you go down a little bit? Yeah, okay. If you notice over here, this is what's known as a palmoin, as a bell. So the different Meforshim say, what do you need a bell for? I mean, what does a bell do for the service? So the different Meforshim say the reason was, it's like sort of like knocking on the door. Before we enter, there's a halacha. When you come home, there's a halacha that you have to knock on your door first before you actually walk through your door. And why is that? So you shouldn't startle the people in your home. Now, in terms of Aaron entering the Beis Hamikdash, the Mishkan, it was a certain level of kavod, a certain level of honor to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that, he didn't just like barge in, he came in a very respectful manner. And the bells announced basically that he was coming. Okay. Now, the other thing also is now the palmoinim, as we said, it gave out a sound, right? And we said its general purpose was to kind of announce that he's coming, but do it in a respectful manner. He doesn't, Aaron HaKohen comes in very respectfully to the Mishkan. He doesn't come in barging. And there's a very interesting, so the Rebbeinu B'chai says, Yavai davar shabakoil, and let the thing that comes with a sound or a voice be chaper al maaseh koil, and it will give forgiveness on something that happened, a deed that happened with the voice. So the palmoinim also had a part in the kapara, in the forgiveness for somebody who spoke Lashon Hara. But again, only Lashon Hara that didn't cause strife, because if it did cause strife, then it was Taras. And now more than that, the Rebbeinu B'chai says that the Lashon Hara that was said in public, whereas that if a Lashon Hara was said in private, the kapara for that, the forgiveness that would be the Ketores. Now, interesting, just a little FYI that Rabbeinu B'chai put in. Does anybody know how many pa'amoinim, how many bells were on the me'il, on the tunic? Anyone want to take a guess?
64?
Oh, no, okay, that's a Close. Close. Anybody else? Okay. So some Meforshim say there were 36, and some Meforshim say 72. This is based on the Gemara in the Goyim, because there is a machlokes in the Gemara in the Goyim. How many varieties of tzaras are there? And it's either 36 or 72. Okay.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
how many forms of tsaras there was? Leprosy.
Yeah.
Tsaras is leprosy.
Yeah. That's what Rabbeinu Bachai says.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Karen, can you do me a favor? Can you start? I have to get to my notes. Could you do me a favor? Yeah, thank you. Okay.
You can go off the screen. You can minimize the Zoom screen when I'm sharing.
Okay, now something interesting also.
Lower your screen a bit because we don't see your whole face.
Lower my screen. 1 second, hold on.
Just a drop. Yeah.
How's that? Is that better?
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, now something also interesting, which, as we know, shatnez is never allowed.
Can you
However,
explain what shatnez is for those who don't know?
okay, so shatnez is we're not allowed to have a garment that has a mix between linen and wool. Okay, now, however, Kadosh Baruch Hu made the gezerah that bedafka in the Beis Hamikdash, in the Bigdei Kehuna, in the clothes of that the Kohanim wore, there would be shatnez, and in and in the material that was made with the me'il and the avnate and the choshen, it's a sheish mazor, and that was where it was in the tzemer, that was the sheish, that was the linen, and the tzemer was the tola shani. Was the red dyed wool. Okay, and some of it was purple dyed wool. But either way, there was this mix together, but that was only Gzeres HaKosav. This is only an exception that Kadosh Baruch Hu made. And it's a Kadosh Baruch Hu's Gzera. And there's no reason that we know yet, because shatnez comes in the category of mitzvahs where there's no explanation given. We have the type of mitzvahs that we have are mishpat, which is basics of a law. Don't steal, don't kill, etc. We have eidos, something that is testimony. Like, for example, Kiddush is testimony that Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world in 6 days and rested on Shabbos. But then we have something called chayk. Chayk it's a law, but the Kadosh Baruch Hu didn't give us the explanation to it. And the answer and the reason for it is, it's one of those mitzvahs to build our emunah. Okay, so what we take away from here is that, on the face of it, yeah, these beautiful garments, and yes, they're part of Aaron's avodah, but at the same time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu built in that within each garment was another level of kapara, another level of forgiveness for Klal Yisrael, which is a tremendous chesed for Klal Yisrael, right? And each garment had a different thing that there was forgiveness on. So it's a fascinating study in the Mishkan and in the Bigdei Kehuna, how Kadosh Baruch Hu thought of every detail of whatever Klal Yisrael needed. It wasn't just, it's not some, structure where we come daven. It was especially built by Kadosh Baruch Hu to give a place of avodah for Klal Yisrael in the Midbar, in the desert. Okay, and its whole construction was to go with Bnei Yisrael. It was sort of like a traveling shul, right? And why v'shachanti b'soicham, the Kadosh Baruch Hu will dwell in them, in their hearts. Okay, and Rav Hirsch has on this part in the of that pasuk of Vasuli mikdash v'shachanti b'secham, and you shall make me a mishkan, a tabernacle, v'shachanti b'secham, but I will dwell in them, right? Because you'd say, but it should have said v'shachanti b'sechai, I should dwell in it, meaning the mishkan. And Rav Hirsch explains there very clearly that Klal Yisrael is different than any other nation. We don't put our, so to speak, spiritual stock in a building. It's true we build our shuls beautiful. That's because of Hider Mitzvah. But that the whole Yiddishkeit is only in the building, and then when we leave the building, there's no Yiddishkeit. That's not Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael, that wherever they are, they're loyal to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not place dependent, but it's dependent on the individual's kavanah and intent of their service to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of which, and then collectively is Klal Yisrael, right? What's our intent as Klal Yisrael as well? That our intent is total avodah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is no physical medium that is the, so to speak, the catch-all of Yiddishkeit. Yiddishkeit, while we have all the Baruch Hashem, we have all these mitzvahs, and we have all these beautiful ornaments that are part of a mitzvah. But the pnimius of every mitzvah is what do we bring to it with our kavanah. Furthermore, as we know, the Mishkan was not destroyed. It was hidden, but it wasn't destroyed. Whereas the other two Batei Mikdash were destroyed, the Mishkan was not destroyed. Okay. And that was, first of all, was because it was made by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the third Beis HaMikdash will not be destroyed because that will be made by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Well, we had was it a week ago when we had by Truma, where we had the Haftarah, where HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Shlomo Melech, and you can find this in the commentary of Dr. Mendel Hirsch, who is the son of Rav Shamshon Raphael Hirsch. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Shlomo, you built this beautiful building. It's beautiful. You put so much effort and money and toil and etc. into it. But the only way it's going to stand and survive is v'shachanti b'seicham, is that I can dwell in the hearts of Klal Yisrael. The building is gorgeous, but remember, that's not the all of Yiddishkeit. It's got to be v'shachanti b'seicham, and that I will dwell in them. And this building, the Beis HaMikdash, will stand only if it's v'shachanti b'seicham. If there's no v'shachanti b'seicham, there's no need for a building. So the Mishkan, which was the forerunner to the Beis HaMikdash, was built by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Every part of the Mishkan had a pnimius, had such a beautiful intent and kavanah and more than that, kapara for Klal Yisrael. And as HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, v'shachanti b'seicham, the intent of the Mishkan is that I will dwell in the hearts of Klal Yisrael. And as we see during the Midbar, that was true. For all the 40 years, it was v'shachanti b'seicham, even with all the problems with the Erev Avniks. But even so, 40 years that Mishkan traveled with them, Klal Yisrael was one with the Mishkan. There was really v'shachanti b'seicham. And when we take out of this is that when we perform a mitzvah, we have to not only know the actual basic halacha of how to perform it, we have to learn what's the pnimius of a mitzvah, what is the beautiful insight and intent and kavanah that we're supposed to have for this mitzvah. And as Rav Nachman says, that when we finish learning, we should put it into a tefillah, and our tefillah is that we should be zeicha, that even before the next Beis Hamikdash comes, we internalize. We have v'shachanti b'sachem, that Kadosh Baruch Hu dwells within us. It's an avodah of love. It becomes an avodah of wanting to know not just the basic mechanics of a halacha, but to know what's the pnimius, what's the right kavanah, how will it enhance our avodah Hashem. And we should be zeicha that with that intent, that Be'ez Hashem, we should be zeicha to the final geula.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey, Karen?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Frimet. So informative. If anybody has questions, this is a good time to ask, or if you have comments about something, you want to add something, feel free to unmute yourself. So you had mentioned the Palmonim. There's two things, right, on the bottom of the Me'il. Was the Pa'amonim, was the bells, and there was Rimonim, right? Is there a
Right.
significance?
Right, so the palmoin was like the outer shell, and the remoin was like the actual bell itself.
Yeah, I'm going to share it. Right, so there was two different things. So what was the significance of the Rimon? I'm trying to remember.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hold on. The Rabbeinu Bechaya also says that the Rimoinim with the palmoinim brought kapora for the Lashon Hara. There were two, because that was what was Mashmiel Koil. That gave out the sound.
The
Right.
Rimon?
The Riemann, when knocked against the shell of the bell, that's what made it, right? And that's what
Okay.
he says here. He says here, Yovoid, let me get out my notes, 1 second. Yovoid dover b'kol lechaper al ma'isa koil, right? That something that gives out that a sound should come and give forgiveness on a deed that was done with the voice.
Interesting. Also, did you mention the color of the Me'il?
No, I didn't go into the color because the color wasn't wasn't the focus as much as the structure of the garment itself, with the palmoinim and the right. That was basically it. That was the. But if you want to know the colors are. 1 second. Ba'asuas ha'ephod, and they made the ephod, the apron. Zohav t'chelos agaman. Oh, sorry, this is the tunic we're talking about. But while we're here, we might as well talk about it. Zohav t'chelos v'agaman v'toila shani v'shesh mosor. So the apron was made out of gold, turquoise dyed wool, purplish dyed wool, a thread of crimson, and sheish masor were basically, there were 6 strands, and they were of flax that was or linen that was wound together. Look in the eel for a minute. In the eel. Look up in the eel. What's it says? Oh, just an FYI, if you want a fascinating shir on the stones of the Mishkan, there's a beautiful shir that's given by Gila Slonim, based on the Rabbeinu Bechaya. I'm gonna put my eel in a second here.
I think the Me'il has to do with the Shemayim.
Okay, so that
Right?
I'm getting there, but again,
But
yeah, so
You're supposed to work on Gila Slonim. That's your
What?
job for tomorrow. Getting
Okay.
Gila to come speak for us.
Okay, I will ask him later. Okay.
Gila talks
Yeah.
about stones. She sells stones and she talks about significance of the stones. What should I post the link to? Nomi Baya?
Naomi Batyason?
Yeah, Nomi Batizan. You want a link to what?
To that shir, Gila shir, if there's one.
Yeah, there is. I'll send it to Karen.
Oh wow, thank you.
See some ill. Okay, Klil Tucheles. It's
I'm gonna
going to
get her live.
Bli Neder, hopefully. Okay. It says it's Khalil Tcheles. It's completely out of the turquoise dyed wool. Now also on it,
I think
there
the
was-
blue though is significant of Mora Shammai, maybe?
okay, so I'm getting the whole wait, slow.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Remember, I'm still a remedial teacher. You gotta go step by step. Okay.
Hey, you're the teacher. I'm also a remedial teacher.
Okay. But I only did the, 1 to 5, 1 to 6. So okay. The
Me too.
what?
I also did one. I started also young.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what Karen's referring to, there's a Rashi that's similar to and some of us should bring it down. What you're talking about, Karen, is the Rashi that's by tzitzis. Why is there a techelis by tzitzis? Because the blue, then the person will look at it and eventually a peak of Shemayim and look up to heaven for their guidance, and that's what will guide them, and that's one of the reasons why there was a visual on the tzitzis itself that a person should always have a reminder of Shemayim, of heaven. So yes, there are some Meforshim who say that is the same thing here. And then of course we had the Pamonim and Rimonim, right? The bell with the pomegranate inside that made the noise, but it also had two stones that were set in a gold form. And on the one side, it was half of the Shvatim, half of the tribes, and on the other side was the other half. Which that too also was for kapara, was for forgiveness for Klal Yisrael. So interestingly enough, that the Kohen Gadol, when he did the service, he had the Shvatim half on one side, half on the other, but he also had each one individually on the breastplate. Okay, so basically one's kapara for Klal, one's kapara for the individualized tribes. And that was the me'il. The me'il was and now there was a fascinating question that Rabbeinu B'chai brought up, was when it lists the begonim. If you notice that the question is mentioned first and then the me'il, but then when it goes to explain it, it says the me'il first. So the answer is like this: the Choshen had more of a significance because of the fact that the Shem HaMafayish in it had the special Yud Kei Vav Kei name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the back of the breastplate. But the Me'il was in a way more important because that was the base to hold up the Choshen. And just as an FYI, the Avnate, the special belt that he wore, okay, does anybody know what that corresponds to in our day? What is used today as a remembrance of that and as a for davening? Does anybody know? A gartel.
What was the question?
What is used today as a remembrance of that, and it's used for davening?
Talis?
No, a gartel.
Oh, I didn't hear what you were talking about. You're talking about the
The avne, the
Avnet.
belt.
Oh, the avnet is the belt, ladies. Sorry.
Right. Okay, just that
The
was the
gartel is the black belt that they put as a separation, right? From the top, upper
right,
body and
right.
lower
Okay,
body.
so the Hasidic minhag is that when you go to daven, there's a special woven black belt that is tied around a special way, and that separates between the parts of the body that are more animalistic with the upper part of the body that signifies the neshama. So we have these. So even what was made then has a significance for our day today, even though we don't have the Mishkan or the Beis Hamikdash. Yeah, okay. Yes, that's a no. That's the guard. No, this is the gartel for the Sefer Torah. This is the gartel that the men wear. Okay. So that really concludes for now our little study into the begadim, the clothes of the Mishkan, and their significance. And so yes, we answered our question. Were these clothes only for Aaron the Kohen? The answer is no. It was for all of Klal Yisrael to bring special forgiveness for different things for all of Klal Yisrael, and anybody who studied the Mishkan in depth, both in terms of its structure, of the chitzonis of it, and then the pnimis, the inside and the intent and the kapara and the beautiful messages that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had in there, you see the tremendous chesed of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that in every little part of the Mishkan, there was some sort of ability to bring kapara, to bring forgiveness to Klal Yisrael. So let me wish everybody a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us. And we should be zeicha that we should take these lessons with us. Chaya Malka, you asked a question. Please explain the significance for today. In what sense, Chaya Malka?
1 minute. I want to get this.
I have a question from it. The video with Ela, is it the webinar on basics of Avnei HaChoshen and crystals?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll post.
Okay. Chaya Malka, I'd like to answer your question. Can you be a little more specific about what you mean?
Because you said you had a question about is there a significance of the, begadim and those things today? And I didn't hear what you answered.
Oh, I said, no. I was talking.
I did hear about the girdle, that like the Hasidim still wear a girdle to separate that. But what about the other things, like the bell? I don't know.
So the halacha is by the Pamoinim and Rimoinim, what we learned from there, the bells and the what's called the pomegranate was what claimed against the bell.
Right.
The halacha is that before you enter your house, you have to knock on the door. And the reason you have to, and that's very prevalent here in Eretz Yisrael, right? You'll notice that before, even if it's Leil Shabbos, everybody's waiting for the father to come home. The father knocks on the door first and then walks in. And the reason being is because a person is not supposed to just barge into the house and startle everybody. You come in slowly. They know people are coming. It's fine. Which is one of the reasons a guest is supposed to knock on the door first. Okay. A guest is never allowed to just open the door and come in. Right. The halacha is you always knock first because of their hurts. Also, you don't know, what's going on in the home. It's only if
the door was locked. And
even if the door is locked,
right.
But even if he has a key, even if, let's say, the person who belongs in the house has a key, right?
Right.
Okay, you still knock on the door, then you open up. Okay, why? Because it's not, you can't startle people. It's not fair, right? And also, it's only derech eretz that you come in nicely. You don't just,
Right.
There's a saying in Yiddish, "Baruch haba ich bin du," right? Like, okay, I'm here. I just arrived, right? Meaning that it's like, you just suddenly appear, but you can't just suddenly appear. You have to ease your way into, right? Especially if somebody was in the middle of davening or they were in the middle of something very important. All of a sudden, somebody walks in and startles them. It's not fair to them. So like this is la halacha. It's a very special cover. That it's a cover the brius. It's a certain honor for other people, to just to make it nicer for them.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question, Chaim Malka?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
The skill and mitzvahs, it was very, very good share.
Thank you, Chaim Malka. And you should have tiskin and mitzvahs with everything that you do.
Amen. Bezrat Hashem. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
This is Pamela. Yeah,
Hi,
I have a question. Hi. So I was wondering about the bells, I forgot what they're called, to provide kapara atonement for Lashon Hara.
Right.
So for other for korbanos, there's supposed to be specific intention for sacrificing korbanos.
That's a great question.
Intention.
That's a great question, Pamela. So when a person brings a korban, whatever korban it is, yes, there's a special intent that each one has to have. Okay, and not only the person who brings the korban, it's the kohen who processes the korban also. There are very special halachas of this. They're very, very detailed halachas of when a person brings a korban. It's not just like, and the Ramban explains, why did we even have animal korbanos? I mean, you're killing an animal, basically, right? So the Ramban explains that it was actually a counterpart for avodah zarah, for foreign worship. Why? In the foreign worship at the time, that's what they do. They would slaughter an animal and sort of give it this, like, to appease their gods, so to speak. Now, in order to, and the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination that was like so drawn to this, to the extent it was like a compulsion, like in today's day and age, like somebody has a compulsion for drinking or compulsion for smoking or drugs or something, right? That's how intent that pull was for avodah zarah. And the counteract that the Ramban explains was that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us for that time only, that there was a Mishkan and Beis Hamikdash, animal offerings. I don't like to call them sacrifices. Animal offerings. Okay. And not only that, they had to come, there was a myriad of halachas that go with how the person who's bringing the korban, okay, and they have to go to the mikveh beforehand. They're not allowed on Har Bayis or into the Mishkan to bring the korban unless they've been to the mikveh first, and not mikveh like the men do today, but like the women do today. Right? It was a real full mikvah, and they had not only that, and as you're bringing it, not only that. Let's talk about one korban. Let's say it was a korban chatos, right?
Sorry, Frimet, we have to end. I have another meeting in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
So to be continued, I'll give you Frimet's number, and you could also discuss it with her. But the subject of korbanos is not a 1 minute thing, so. I apologize, but definitely there are other korbanos that are mechaper for doing different averos. This happens to be, she was discussing in terms of shmiras halashon, because that's what it represents. But definitely other korbanos are representative of different types of sins that a person performs, and some of them have to completely burn. Some of them are partially burnt and given to the kohen, right? So there's different halachos. So we're not going to get into it right now. Thank you all for joining.
The intent.
Yes. The intent. Right.
Right. That's what I was trying to answer. But okay. Pamela,
okay, to be continued. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Sorry, we have to cut it short. We usually just allowed to go on, but I have meetings back to back today.
Thank you. Frimet, if it's okay, I'll contact you.
Yeah, I'll send you the number.
Me later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frimet, for an amazing, informative share. This recording will be on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't seen this amazing video that I posted. It has over 14,000 views from the Knesset member of here in Israel, who discussed the meaning of what Jewish education should be and it's really powerful. And she is going to be coming to Beshemesh, Bezrat Hashem. I hope to feature her and bring her on here. So
Wow. Oh, you better
yeah.
tell me. Maybe I'll come out to Ramat Beit Shemesh.
I will. It's like a private group that meets every month, so they're trying to bring her on. But I will inform people, and I'm going to try to get her on our Zoom. So Bezrat Hashem. So let's we'll talk further. I also have some women that I met that are relatives of the captive that I'd like to come on. So stay tuned for that to give a chizuk. I did post. If you're not on my group, please reach out to me. I had posted some beautiful speeches from the mothers and grandmother of the captives that give a lot of people chizuk. And so try to go on my Living Inspired. If you're not on there, Elke, you can contact me. You have my personal number. If you saw my post, then you saw, but I was the one who forwarded it. So you can contact me through that. Anyways, have an amazing night. B'sorot tovot, or day, wherever you are. And we should hear B'sorot tovot, Yeshuot, Nechamot for all of Mecha Yisrael. Let's keep davening. Keep up the tefillot whenever you can. You're cooking, you're ironing, you're doing the laundry. Say a parak of Tehillim. Sing a parak of Tehillim. Be b'simcha. It's Adar. We're going to be Zlat Hashem, see Yeshuot and B'sorot tovot. And we hopefully we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up. As this Shabbat is Purim Katan. So we have to try to commemorate it a little bit. I'll try to give you a little share and update of what that means, Bezrat Hashem. If anybody has information on it, I'd love to read more about it, so send it to me, including you.
And also, it's going to be my father's 35th year site.
Wow, what, on Shabbos?
Yeah.
Wow, very special. So we'll dedicate the share to somebody his name. If anybody would like to make a donation or sponsor or dedicate a share, please reach out to me. Bezrat Hashem, I'm more than willing to dedicate a share for them. Bezrat Hashem. So let's vote everyone. Yeshuot.
Okay.
What's your father's name? We can say Bezrat
Karen,
Hashem.
I just wanted to say that today is the yahrzeit of the Chidah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Chaim Azulai. Chaim
Yes.
Yosef Azulai, I think. Wow. Tanish Matobah Gan Eden, I'll light a candle. Today or tonight?
And Thursday, I believe, is the yahrzeit of Rav Moshe Feinstein.
Beautiful.
And it's
Tanish Matobah Gan Eden.
Thursday night.
Okay, I gotta go, ladies. Have an amazing